Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. I'm a little bit of a nerd, so I decided to break down Shademother right now. So we do not know the full details about her, but we can kind of guesstimate what she might look like and what kind of team might be good around this specific new Dislyte Land boss. So let's take a look at a bunch of screenshots taken directly from the preview video itself. So Shademother has unlimited HP at 200,000. That is the recorded max HP that she has. So you must survive a set number of turns to achieve victory. And because I said 200,000 doesn't mean that you do 200,000 damage and she's dead. No, she has unlimited pool. Alright, she just keeps on replenishing that 200,000 HP or something like that. Deceitful Shadow will attack your frontline first, essentially her first skill. The lower the defense, the higher the damage. Is very much the same as the rest of the Shadow bosses. The damage will be shared among targets, and you can place Espers with high defense on the front line to reduce damage taken, which is completely not important as we have seen thus far. Now, Deadly Hurricane grants Shademother Hardened Shield, which is the multiplier phase. Now, she then gains Hermitage effects until it is completely destroyed, and after being attacked a few times by Espers of the same elemental class, the same typing, Shademother will no longer take damage from Espers of that elemental class, excluding Shimmer Espers. Now, destroy as many Hardened Shield stacks as possible and collect more Shadow Flower Petals to inflict stun on Shademother and gain a higher score multiplier. While Shademother is stunned, she will gain extra Hermitage effects and Espers' actions will be limited. I'm not super sure what this part means, Espers' actions will be limited. And Resentful Desolation, this is her passive, causes herself to take more damage from single hit attacks, but less in multi-stage attacks. So for example, in Gaius, when he multi-hits, he already reduces his own damage done. But what Resentful Desolation would then do is to further minimize the extra DPS that his additional hits will do. So therefore, you can use Espers with strong single hit attacks, pursuit attacks, or assist attacks. Now, I'm not super sure how assist attacks would affect the hit limit over here, right? Because attacking her a few times with Espers of the same elemental class would prevent herself from taking damage from those elemental classes. So if you have Brewster, for example, how would that affect the hit count? So that's something that we need to check when the boss actually drops herself. Now, Fighter Espers of Shimmer or multiple elemental classes are also pretty good options according to them, and dealing as much damage as possible in each action is key to getting a high score. Collapsing Shadow will ignore this, basically the final hit, will ignore all damage mitigation effects and deal a powerful attack, blah blah blah, and then you get a score afterwards. Okay, so that is the general rule of thumb of Shademother. It's not very complicated, it's quite simple actually, so I've broken it down, basically whatever that you need to know. So the first thing is Deadly Hurricane. This is what gets her into the multiplier phase. This gives herself Hardened Shield. Now what Hardened Shield is she gains Hermitage effects until completely destroyed. You might be wondering, what the hell is Hermitage effects? Now, after being attacked a few times by Espers of the same elemental class, Shademother will no longer take damage from Espers of that elemental class, excluding Shimmer Espers. I think this is one of the main takeaways here, excluding Shimmer Espers. And of course, like I asked earlier, how does assist attacks affect the hit count? So I'm not super sure what Hermitage effects necessarily mean, it's not indicated over here. But what we do know for sure is that there are many layers of Hardened Shield that the boss has, and we need to damage that shield until it completely destroys. Then we can get 18 times multiplier after that, which seems like an easy task. But of course, the main catch is that using Espers of the same elemental class will screw you up, because you will eventually deal 0 damage if you hit the boss too many times with the same elemental class, which means you need to diversify a little bit or run Shimmer type Espers. Now, point number 3, multiplier phase. Destroy Hardened Shield stacks to gain score multiplier. I've talked about that. Now, point number 4, stun phase. Alright, so when the boss is in the stun phase, she gains extra Hermitage effects. So I'm not super sure what this is, but she gains extra Hermitage effects. And point number 5, she takes more damage from strong single hit abilities, which are these Espers here. And number 6, due to elemental restrictions in point number 2, which is a Hardened Shield, each attack matters a lot, which is also whatever that they mentioned over here. Which means that your Espers, whenever they take a turn, they must deal a lot of damage to carry their weight. So quality over quantity. So I've gone ahead to look through the atlas and come up with some Espers that are really good options for you, depending on like whether you have these Espers or not, right? So for the single hit Espers, these are 9 really good options. We have Tever, who is a Shimmer type. We have Sander, who is an amazing Inferno. I think Sander is probably going to be like the MVP here because he has a speed lead as well. Steward is also pretty good because when you use his third skill, he sleeps himself, and the boss can wake him up and he can counter attack, which I don't think is actually that good after all, because of the mechanics of this fight, right? So yeah, actually Steward is not a good choice here. Valentina might be decent because she hits pretty hard in terms of single target damage, so she could do well here, I think. Then Liara is probably going to be a really good pick over here, although I think she double hits on her third skill, right? But regardless, her second skill does a tremendous amount of single target nuke. And Valeria is actually going to be really good here because her damage scales according to speed, so her damage output is going to be high like Sander, plus all of her attacks deal single hits. So Valeria actually has a lot more versatility now in this current update. And point number 7, the forgotten Lin Xiao. She is also going to be an excellent choice here because she deals pretty good single hit damage. So I'm actually quite excited about Lin Xiao because I think the main weakness that she has is her low proc chance on her third skill, which is 80%. But the thing is, shadow bosses cannot receive debuffs, which means you do not need to care too much that you fail to hit your debuffs. So instead, she's going to nuke with her second skill all the time. So if you run her with like maybe the Ocean set, for example, she can potentially cast her second skill consecutively, which can be quite painful. And then we have Ophelia, an obvious choice, but of course it really depends on how the Pursuit effect works against a hardened shield where, like I said so many times, the more hits you deal with a certain elemental class, the closer you will be to the boss taking 0 damage from that elemental class. And of course we have Brewster, same problem with Ophelia, something that we need to explore. And then now, these are all the assist Pursuit Espers. So we have Tever at R6, he's going to be amazing, he's going to be the best choice basically. And then we have Ophelia here with the Pursuits, and we have Brewster for the unlimited assist, we have Alice for a lot of assists and she's a Shima type as well. We have Shenpin for the indefinite amount of assists as well and she's a Shima type. We have Tangshan at R2, who is possibly a pretty good choice, I think. And of course, don't forget, we also have Hall, who is also a Wind type, and the only rare Esper over here. So I think Hall might be pretty decent, especially when you build him with like a DPS kit, right? He's always going to assist attacks. And assuming that assisting does not count to the hardened shield 100% damage mitigation part of it, then Hall might actually be really good. Okay, so I have 2 teams for you guys. One is the extremely pay-to-win comp, one is the completely free-to-play comp. So in both of these comps, we are going to have attack buffs coming from Shenpin or Sienna. Now in the pay-to-win comp, we have Tever, we have Alice, we have Shenpin, and we have Esenath as the Shima type. So they're not going to count to any like excess hits into your hardened shield, for example, right? So we have Valeria, who is the Soul Flow type Esper, and we have Sander, who is a Soul Inferno type Esper. I think this is probably going to be one of the better ways that you can build this team right now. And now, as for the free-to-play team, we will have Alice, we will also have Sienna for the attack buff and the speed buff. We will also have Sienna as Sander as the Soul Inferno damage dealer. We will have Valeria as the Soul Flow damage dealer. And we have Lin Xiao for Shimmer neutral DPS. And we will also have Esenath as the healer, who is also really good as a Shimmer type because she's not, like I said, she's not going to affect your hardened shield count and all that kind of stuff. So these are the 2 teams that I can think of right now. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think about Shademother? You know, what do you feel about her? She's not going to be a multiplayer content, I think. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to give a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.